Of all the new venture games that I've invented, this is by far my favorite. Stay tuned and I'll tell you why. Hey, greetings friends. Welcome again back to my game room. I want to tell you about a game called CardBoard. This has been featured in a very earlier video on my channel, and I figured it was time to revisit the game. It's one of our flagship games. It's really a fun game, and it's suitable for the whole family. There's a little bit of reading involved, but with some coaching, I think just about anybody can play CardBoard. But I think the biggest feature of the game is the fact that it is comprised of a huge deck here. But with a deck of this size, the combination of the cards and the actions that are taken based on the cards are in the billions. You could play this game for centuries and never play the same game twice. And a lot of games say that, but it's not only a matter of chance that which cards come up, which cards are played to the table, but there's some strategy involved, and the players get to make decisions based on the cards in their hand, make decisions based on the layout of the board. It's challenging, but not so challenging that it's not loads of fun at the same time. So take a quick look at the rules here, and I'll come back in a bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about CardBoard. Each player receives a hand of 4 cards, and 1 card is placed in the center of the table as a start space. All the player pawns are placed on this card, but the instructions on this card are ignored for now. In the first round of the game, each player will place a card side to side next to any other card already on the table, drawing a replacement card from the main deck to signal the end of their turn. Then the game really begins. Each player's turn is very simple. You first place a card from your hand into the array of cards on the table, always next to a previously played card and always oriented in the same direction and lined up in a grid. Next, you roll the die and you move your pawn from card to card. Choose your direction of movement carefully. Pawn movement is always in a straight line unless 2 situations arise. 1, you reach the last card in the direction you're moving. If you've reached the edge of the board, your movement is done. Or, you move in a straight line unless a card tells you to change direction. These are the arrow cards. There are 2 distinctions to make clear about the arrow cards. No exit means no exit. Your pawn can't leave the card in that direction. You can enter the card through that edge, but not exit. And the curves and U-turns are counted as a space when you're moving, so your pawn may end its movement on one of these cards, landing on one of these curved arrows. If so, when your turn comes round again, you must continue on the route you were on when you landed there. Keep your pawn on the arrow you're following. So now when your movement ends, you follow the instructions written on the card, if there are any. Some cards offer a choice, and a few have no instructions, but most will force some kind of action at this point. Choose wisely. And finally, if you land on a star, you gain points, which is, after all, the point of the game. Some cards may increase your hand size. In this case, you will continue the game with 1 more card than what you started. When someone reaches the agreed to number of points, the game is over. Now, as it says in the instructions, when you reach the agreed to number of points, somebody's won the game. And quite often what happens is somebody says, well, let's play to 20 points. And then you get near 20 points and somebody says, well, this is going well. Let's go ahead and play to 40 or whatever it might be. And you could put a time limit on it and just say when we end the game, whoever has the most points wins. And of course, a lot of people say, well, the game's over, but I want to keep going. Let's see who comes in second. And you can continue to play that way as well. It's pretty much one of those games that house rules can definitely be invoked and play it your way. And as the game is played, there will be traps laid. There may be two directional cards that point towards each other, and you get stuck in this back and forth motion. Or there may be a lose a point card, which is in a loop, and you keep on going over that card over and over again. Not to worry, you're continually getting more cards in your hand that you can play to the table, and some of those cards will rescue you from that situation. Also want to be aware that when you decide you want to try to set a trap like that for another player, they could just as easily play a card that catches you in your own trap. So you got to be careful about that as well. The game is called CardBoard. It's a fun game for all ages. It's a very flexible game. Never the same game twice. Very portable and very affordable. Makes a great gift. And so, of course, I heartily recommend CardBoard as your next game purchase. I hope you enjoyed this information about the game CardBoard. Leave your comments and questions in the show notes. I'm going to post the links, of course, where you can purchase your own copy, and be very eager to hear your own experiences with the game as well. So follow up with us later. If you have any other suggestions or questions, let me know. Whether you play CardBoard or whether you play some other game, always close with the same advice. Be sure to play every day.